Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I will be beating Dark Souls 2 with fists only. This is part 1 of 2. This part will be main game and most of the side bosses in the main game. I missed a couple, which I will revisit in part 2, which will be anything I missed, except Alia, because I didn't kill Vendrick, so I can't go back for him. Or I could, but I'm not replaying the whole game just to do that. And then all the DLCs will be in part 2 as well. And for now, to start the run, I spawned in the Vanquisher's Seal, which you can get. I could farm for it, but I really just don't want to do that, I'm going to be honest, because that'll take forever. So I'm just going to spawn it in. But that's the only thing I spawned in, because I know a lot of people got mad last time on the Slayer run that I got 99 endurance, which honestly, to be honest, I don't care, but I mean, yeah. Alright, let's move on. To start this run off, I went and cheesed Dragon Rider, as everybody who does a challenge run does, to get a bunch of free souls, and then also to make up for spawning in the Vanquisher's Seal early game. I didn't do this for the full run, but most of the early game I used Covenant of Champions just to make my life a little harder. But moving on. I decided I would move on to the Flexile Sentry so I could make my way to the Lost Bastille to fight the Lost Sinner as my first old soul, because honestly I find them the easiest. Actually, no, I take that back. Rotten's definitely the easiest, but I mean, they're all pretty easy. But I mean, yeah, I'm talking about different things because there's not much to talk about in this Flexile Sentry fight. I almost died right there, but I clutched up because I'm built different. And anyway, moving on. I decided to run back to Last Giant and Pursuer to get some more souls before taking on the Lost Sinner, and at this point in the game I was pretty well equipped, so he went down pretty easy. Moving on. Next on the chopping block was Pursuer. I tried to use the ballistas just for the fun of it, but I mean, couldn't get either one to work. I'll use the other one here in a little bit, but anyway, he went down fairly easily. This was probably my longest fight at the start, because he definitely has the hardest moveset in the early game, I feel like, for people starting out in this game. And I haven't played this game in ages, that's why I forgot quite a few bosses along the way. But Pursuer eventually went down. Moving on. Moving on to the Lost Sinner wasn't too difficult. It definitely didn't help that I didn't have the lights on, and you can really see this is the fight where you really start to see the damage drop off, because before I was chunking enemies while doing 200 a hit, but now I'm not doing as much, but I still swing fast enough I can get a lot of damage in, so she goes down pretty quick. Moving on. Royal Rat Vanguard was kind of a struggle, mainly because I would just get stun locked by all the rats, but as soon as I popped a Humanity and had a full health bar, I took him down pretty easily, because I could actually take hits then. And so, I mean, it took a little while to get all the rats, because it was also kind of hard to hit them, because if I can't really do the two-fist attack, but I mean, yeah, pretty easy. Moving on. On to the Rotten, which I was pretty confident about because he has a grand total of 3 attacks that he can throw at you. So I knew that I would be able to get him down pretty easily, but here you can really see how my damage starts to drop off even more, just because he's kind of resistant to physical damage, and I didn't think I could buff my fists in any way. And I definitely could have done more to improve the build, but I didn't. But moving on. The Skeleton Lords were not too difficult either. They definitely did some big damage to me at some points, and then also just trying to wade through the mob of skeletons to get some of them dead, that was pretty bad. But I mean, luckily the fists, once again, they swing fast, and I actually do solid damage with the Vanquisher's Seal on, so it's not too bad. But it's mainly just running around the arena, and then as soon as some skeletons get secluded from the group, take them out. And then I made sure to save the guy who spawned the Wheels in last, because I didn't want to get harassed by those with the big mob around me. But anyway, moving on. Executioner's Chariot definitely did give me some trouble, because I just didn't really remember the fight that well. And so I didn't think you could actually kill the skeletons for good without a holy weapon. So I didn't bother at first, but then I looked it up and saw that the necromancers were all that mattered. And so as soon as I got all the skeletons cleared out, killing the horse was pretty easy. At some points I got stuck between the wall and that just like killed me, but this time it didn't happen, so I was able to take down the chariot pretty quickly. Moving on. I'm gonna be 100%. I forgot Covetous Demon was a thing until I accidentally walked into this boss room and saw it, and it went down in like 10 seconds. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to Mytha. Mytha isn't too difficult, especially if you drain the poison swamp. I don't know how you can fight this boss without draining the poison. It would just be painful. You'd have to have something that made you immune to poison. I don't even know if there's something like that in the game. But yeah, the fight itself wasn't too eventful. I chunked her health and she died pretty quickly. Moving on. Clearing out Iron Keep took me like an hour. Same thing with Shrine of Amana, because how I would do it is, the main reason I said I didn't use Covenant Champions the whole time was mainly just so I could get rid of the enemies in the Iron Keep and Shrine of Amana by killing them over and over again. That's how I made it through both those areas. So after like an hour or two of just killing all the enemies repeatedly in the area, I finally made it to Smelter Demon. And honestly, he didn't give me too much trouble because I kind of remembered how to deal with him from when I played DS2 before. But not too difficult. Moving on. Onto the Old Iron King, or Old Demon King, whatever his name is. I can't remember. Yeah, never mind. It's Old Iron King. Onto him. Not too crazy. Literally just move around the platform and don't get hit. And he also fell apart really easily. Moving on. Najka wasn't too difficult to take down. I mean, I got hit there in the beginning, but I was able to just dodge, weave, and lock in here. I almost died to that magic attack because I kind of forgot the timing of it, but I mean, the fight wasn't too eventful. Yeah, as soon as she goes underground, just stand on the roof and wait it out, and then from there she's dead. Moving on. On to the most exhilarating boss fight in the game, Congregation. Yeah, it was just, I don't even know why they had to have a boss, like, health bar for this guy. Like, it literally, like, this could have just been a regular room to clear out, but no, it's a boss. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking with this whole game, to be honest. But, yeah, and I had some trouble hitting the guys on the ground, as you could see, but after I got him, it was good. Moving on. I allowed myself to equip a torch for this boss fight just so the spiders weren't harassing me the whole time. I didn't use it to hit anything, so I think it counts. I didn't use it to deal damage, I just held it out. But anyway, moving on. I actually died to Dragon Rider Duo quite a bit, because I just don't like duo fights, I'm going to be honest. Because later I summon Vengarl, or whatever his name is, or Benhart, for Throne Watcher and Defender, just because I feel like that fight's just kind of aids sometimes, and yeah, but moving on to Looking Glass Knight, once again. This fight was probably one of the hardest this run, because honestly, most of the hard bosses are either side bosses I didn't do, or in the DLC. So Loki, this video is really easy in comparison to what I'm gonna have to do for next weekend. But yeah, no, Looking Glass Knight wasn't too hard, and I was actually able to kill him before he could summon his guy, so that was pretty cool. But moving on to Demon of Song. There's not much I can say about this boss. I spent 2 hours getting to it and I cleared it first try. Like, I spent like so much time in Shrine of Amana, it was actually insane, because that place is just god-awful, and then this boss is just so easy. But moving on. To be honest, I was almost certain that a Veldstat would have given me more trouble, but I actually cleared him first time. As you can see in the beginning, I low-key got beat up. But I locked in, I started getting some hits in. And honestly, I'm still shocked I first tried Veldstat, because I remember my first playthrough, I died to him like 6 times. And so, I thought I was at least going to die once here with fists only. But, shockingly, I was able to take him down first try. I mean, this is definitely one of my favorite bosses of Dark Souls 2, I'm going to be honest. But moving on. And I collected the King's Ring too, but yeah, moving on. On to Guardian Dragon, who spent his whole life flying in the air. It was actually insane. Like, I really don't know what I could do about it. He was just... This is just what I hate about this boss, because you really just can't do damage to it. Because, like, look. Like, I literally got one hit in, and he immediately, like, flew away and just started spamming fire attacks. Like, you actually just can't make this up. Like, look. I get, like, one hit in, and he flies away. This fight is just significantly longer than what it needs to be. So, I mean, yeah, really nothing much to say about this fight. Moving on. I grabbed a couple more giant souls before this, and I also lost the footage of getting like the ancient heart that you used to get into the memories, but as you can see, I did make it into the memory to kill the giant lord. Wasn't too hard, just kind of go like foot to foot, and he really doesn't hit you. But yeah, moving on. As you can see, I did summon for this fight, but honestly, I just always get ganked and stun blocked by this boss, so I really just couldn't care, and I rather not cheese. I feel like just summoning is better than just cheesing when I'm off the map. So, I just did that. But I mean, it wasn't too hard as soon as there was another guy to be taking damage, but I made sure after this to kill myself so I could fight Nashandra solo. And then, as you will also figure out, I didn't kill Vendrick. Well, I think I told you that, but yeah, I didn't kill Vendrick, so I couldn't fight Aldia. But I'm not going back for him, so you guys can just kind of live with it. But moving on. Moving on to Nashandra, which there really isn't much to talk about, so I'm just going to talk about the build that I had, which was literally just Vanquisher, Seal, and Ring of Blades for extra damage, and just all my stats pumped into strength and adaptability and vitality and health and all that. So, nothing too special, but yeah, no, Nashandra was pretty easy, just kind of sit right under her and she can't really hit you. But that's it, I beat the game. Next week I will be covering the DLCs and everything I missed. That'll definitely be a harder video for sure, but I'm shocked I was actually able to get this out very fast, because this was a lot easier than I expected it to be. I really thought Fists only in Dark Souls would be a very hard challenge, but with the Vanquisher Seal it got really easy really quick. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and if you don't mind dropping a like, comment, and maybe subscribing, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and we're back in Dark Souls 2, finishing that Fists only run that I started last weekend. If you haven't watched part 1, I would go do that right now before you continue. But anyway, we're on to Alana already. There really isn't much to say about this boss though, so don't worry. Just kill any things she spawns as fast as humanly possible, and it makes the fight 10 times easier. Luckily, she only started to summon Velstadt at the end, but I was able to take him down. Moving on. Now moving on to Sin. Sin wasn't too challenging. He was, I mean, he did take me like an hour practicing to like actually figure out his moveset, but after that, it was pretty easy to punch him down. Especially because I didn't have to worry about the durability of my weapons running out, because I'm using my fists as a weapon. But yeah, it's real. I don't really like how he spews toxic fire. I feel like that's just kind of annoying. But luckily this time I didn't get procced with toxic. I almost did right there, but narrowly avoided that. But for that, moving on. On to some of the bosses I missed, which is the Rune Sentinel, which I slowed this one down because I just like 4-tapped each of them, and so otherwise it literally would have been like 5 seconds long. But yeah, no, as you can see, the Rune Sentinels were not supposed to be beaten this late in the game. Anyway, moving on. On to the Belfry Gargoyles. They were not too challenging. I was able to just kind of wail on them and like 3-tap them because they have like no health this late in the game. I switched instead of having two-handed because I wanted to make sure I could actually hit them, but as soon as I realized, because I thought they were a lot smaller, but I guess not. But yeah, no. I clobbered all of them. Like, these bosses were not meant to be fought this late in the game, so they're just too easy. Anyway, moving on. Back to 4 times speed, because I don't think we're missing much here. But, yeah, no. This fight was not too difficult. And, yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to say about this. It's just an awful fight that they shouldn't have had in the game. Well, honestly, the boss isn't so bad. I just don't know why they had to have, like, the 4 wolves with poison. Which just makes no sense to me, but, you know, the boss went down to, like, 15. So, like, this is also a boss I probably should have just gotten on my way over, but I just didn't want to bother. But it did break some stuff at the end, so did that, but moving on. Now moving on to the Gang Squad, which I, once again, first try, never fought this boss before, but it's literally just run around the arena, and then as soon as one, like, kind of gets ahead of the group, just try to get a couple swings in on them and then run off. And that's basically what I did. I aimed for the person with the bow first, because then I would just stop getting, like, shot at, and I could just run around freely. And I was able to get them down fairly soon. This fight took forever, because it was literally just me, like, sprinting around the rim. But, I guess, I don't really know what to do at the time. Like, this fight's just so uneventful. And I like to show the whole fight, so people don't think I, like, just whip out another weapon and just, like, wail on whatever, but, I mean, yeah, we really are in here for, like, 3 minutes. This is really a packed video. But, yeah. But honestly, probably next weekend, I might do, something different other than Dark Souls. But I know last time I did that, I got, like, 8 views, so... But I still want to, like, play something different. I don't really know what I'm going to play, but... It's going to be something different, because, honestly... I mean, this run wasn't bad, but it was just, like... Also kind of annoying. Well, it was Dark Souls 2, honestly. I'd probably go back to... Honestly, I should do a Dark Souls 3 run. I might do that. So, next video is either just going to be something random, or a Dark Souls 3 video. But, I don't know, it's going to be something fire, but moving on. Now on to King Vendrick. He was just very tanky as usual, but, I mean, he really wasn't too difficult in the end. It was just kind of a lot of running. Yeah, a lot of the more lengthy fights are going to be in this video, because I just kind of forgot about them, because the last time I've beaten this game other than this run was probably about a year or two ago. So, yeah, it wasn't too hard. Literally just like stand kind of like behind him on his left leg, and you can just wail on him and he'll just, like, it's pretty easy. But yeah, moving on. Honestly, in hindsight, I probably should have fought Ancient Dragon first for the last Giant Soul, and then fought Vendrick, so I'd have an easier time there, but that really doesn't matter. It's not too hard to kill this guy anyway, if you just, like, stand in his toe, and you just dodge and leave. But yeah, it's not too hard to kill this guy. This is actually one of the faster fights, because I could just, like, constantly attack him. But yeah, moving on. On to one of my least favorite bosses, this one. I just feel like the hitboxes on this boss are kind of awful sometimes, but I mean, that's kind of this whole game. And yeah, then don't get me started on the duo fight of this guy, basically. That's the main reason I didn't bother going back for it. But yeah, this fight wasn't too hard. Moving on. I went ahead and freed all the knights, so I didn't have to fight the old Chaos Lord, or whatever his name is, Old Iron King. No, that's the other guy. You know who I'm talking about, Old Ivory King, that guy. But yeah, I got them all, so I didn't have to fight him alone. Moving on. Alright guys, on to the longest fight of the video by far, because there's like a whole like intro sequence of fighting all of the Burnt Ivory Knights, and as you can see I basically have a full set of their armor by this point in the like, if I would have got the helmet I would have had the full set, and I mean the armor ain't bad, so that wasn't too bad having to... This took me quite a while to kill him. I just hate they have to do this intro sequence every time. I wish there was a way to just skip it. Like, you do this, like, battle once, and then you're good. But, I mean, yeah, because it's just like, yeah, look, I'm getting jumped. Because they don't target. Like, half the time they don't target the other knights. They just target me, which is insane, but... yeah, moving on to the actual fight with the boss. I still had one knight remaining, which was good, but I don't think he lasts very long, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I was mainly just hoping he'd attack the knight so I could like get some extra damage in, but knight goes down just about a little bit ago. But from there, honestly, I low-key, like, do enough damage to, like, beat him up. Because he has some pretty long windows where he sits there, so I can get in, like, 2 swings sometimes, but... yeah, no, this guy wasn't too difficult. I even break his stance there for a second. But yeah, no. And Burnt Ivory King goes down. Moving on. I'm gonna be 100% here. Fume Knight is probably one of my favorite fights in this game, by far. Definitely top 3. It could be first, because there's not very many good bosses in this game. And 2 of them are in this DLC, and it's Fume Knight, and then the final boss of the video, Sur-Ron. But yeah, no, this guy, he took me quite a while. I honestly had more trouble with his moveset than Alon's, because I like a faster moveset. I don't like a slow moveset where he puts his arms up, waves his sword around for a little bit, and then he'll like finally swing it. Like half the Elden Ring bosses, but yeah. But honestly, second phase wasn't too hard. You just kind of had to, like that slam attack, it took me a little bit to learn how to dodge that, but yeah, no. He was not too hard as soon as you kind of got down the dodging and all that. But it was definitely a lot harder to get a hit in second phase, because it felt like every time I got a good hit in, he'd just do like either that big sweep he just did or that like slam attack that he does. But yeah, no, I broke his stance there and that basically killed him, and then I somehow hit him there, but yeah, I killed him. Moving on. This was supposed to be a practice run, because I had a summon in here, but I just wasn't paying attention to the health bar the whole time. Because I was kind of just like, because I was kind of struggling with his moveset for a minute, and I hated that run back. And so I just, because earlier he buffed like almost immediately, so I thought that happened again just with a teammate in there. So yeah, I didn't really mean to kill him here, but I really don't care. It's Smelter Demon. Yeah. Moving on. Now to end off the video on Sur-Ron. Honestly, his fight wasn't too difficult. It did take me a little while to remember how to do his moveset, but this was my favorite fight, honestly. Like, at least this time around, because it helps to fight him with a fast weapon, and because fists are a fast weapon, you can definitely take him down a lot easier than you normally would be able to. But yeah, no, he's fairly... But I mean, I definitely like his moveset, and I don't know, there really isn't much to say about this fight, but it's definitely one of the best ones in Dark Souls 2, because you compare this to like The Last Giant, or I mean Pursuer's kind of good, but like Vendrick's kind of bad. The final bosses are bad, and then yeah, once again I wasn't able to get all the X that would require a new save file, and I just couldn't bother. But yeah, no, this was definitely my longest fight of the video, that's for sure. But yeah, no, this was a good fight. And honestly, if you're looking for a fairly easy challenge, I would recommend doing this, because it was actually pretty easy, you know, as soon as you get the Vanquisher seal. But I mean, if you don't have cheat engine, that would take a while to get, so I understand why most people don't do this. But I just couldn't be bothered to farm for it. But yeah, no. And I'm sorry I made this a two-parter, but it's just I had a video for last weekend I was gonna upload, but the files got corrupted, and then I had that footage already, and so I decided just to make a part 1 and then just do this part 2. But yeah, no, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And if you did, maybe drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.